Well, as South Africans continue to experience power cuts, the government is trying to include local entrepreneurs in rather reforming the energy sector. It's doing everything from hiring private sector specialists to of course, speed up the removal of red tape, slowing the sale of excess energy by private generators. But to discuss this even further, I'm now joined by the Chief Sales and Marketing Officer at Tsebo Solutions. Melusi Maposa joins me this morning to, of course, take this conversation forward. Melusi, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. I suppose starting with the significance and importance of entrepreneurs coming and being part of solutions to this power crisis that we have in the country. Oftentimes we're pointing fingers at Eskom, but is there input, significant input that we can at least expect from entrepreneurs?
Good morning, Tumelo. Good morning to your viewers. I think there is a tremendous opportunity for public-private collaboration in addressing not just the challenges that Eskom is facing, but the broader challenges that South Africa faces around an infrastructure backlog. And we have a tremendous backlog of infrastructure, not just for electricity, but for water, for sanitation, for roads, for public health facilities. And all these are issues that government cannot conceivably tackle on their own because of complexity, because of funding requirements, and because of competing priorities. And the way forward out of it is finding more creative ways for the public sector to tap into private capital, private knowledge, and private expertise.
With that being said, is there red tape, though, that is prohibiting this private-public collaboration from taking place effectively and much more quickly?
I wouldn't say there is red tape, Tumelo. We've got very successful case studies in South Africa of public-private partnerships that have been running for more than 25 years. You may or may not know, but eNCA Albert Luthuli Central Hospital in KZN, which is one of the largest referral hospitals anywhere in the world. It's a 900-bed facility, was set up 25 years ago as a public-private partnership, which means private capital was injected to build the facility and has been used to operate and maintain it, with the service being paid for, obviously, by the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Health, but the beneficiary being the citizens in eThekwini. We also have an example of the Department of Basic Education's head offices in Pretoria, which have also been going on for about 15 years as a public-private partnership, which is built by a private entity on behalf of a public entity and operated on their behalf for the duration of the exercise. So in terms of regulation and processes, National Treasury has developed and implemented fairly robust, clearly understood processes for enabling private partnerships. Are there opportunities to make the processes simpler and faster? Yes, but we've got something to work from.
I'm sure quite recently, Melusi, you would have seen that some of the country's top CEOs had met with the president out of the union buildings, taking matters into their own hands, trying to come up with resolutions and interventions for, amongst other things, the energy crisis. Do you have confidence in those efforts by both the president and some of these top companies and top CEOs, and that meeting, that it will yield results in resolving our energy crisis?
I have a lot of confidence, Tumelo. I think the one thing I would not have confidence on is doing nothing or doing what we've done all along to get us out of the problems we face. And I think the acceptance of the fact that we're all in this boat together, for private businesses to thrive, we do need a stable environment with reliable, affordable access to energy, access to water and sanitation, roads and other things. And the realization and the acceptance by government of creating a structured forum for private business and private capital to augment and participate in initiatives driven by government can only be good for all of us, right? So we look forward to hearing more on how that will work and what initiatives will be driven and how the broader business community and other players can participate in it.
When we talk about, funding models, especially in as far as business is concerned, are you able to perhaps project in terms of amounts how much we're talking here in terms of investment from business? It's easy to say we need these partnerships, but is the money available?
There is always money for a strong business case to measure. So as long as there is sufficient returns available, capital can be found. I think the challenge is usually finding the opportunities where capital can be deployed. So, to make it concrete and maybe give you some examples that we can talk about and think of, we know we've got a water crisis problem in Tswane with, antiquated water treatment works and waste treatment works. That kind of infrastructure is infrastructure that lends itself well to, packaging it as a project that could actually be collateralized as a triple P, which means the city of Tswane need not be the one raising the funding or putting together the skills required to actually build or to refurbish that infrastructure or to operate and maintain it. It's an opportunity to pass the burden on to somebody while you do something else. That same concept would apply for any of the transmission or distribution substation infrastructure that needs to be built in any of our municipalities. It is quite easy to package that into a project that is put out to the market for people to respond to say who has the appetite to design, build, and operate and maintain this particular asset on behalf of a distributor, and then at the end of that period, hand it over. So there's always capital provided there is a business case, and the business case is well packaged.
All right. Well, of course, I appreciate you speaking to me about this, Melusi, building optimism rather than confidence in us as South Africans, because at the end of the day, South Africans just want a solution, to this energy crisis. Hearing that business is willing to be a partner can only give us hope that we will find a resolution in sight so that there could be end days for what we're seeing right now with load shedding. Melusi, thank you so much for speaking to us all the way from Tsebo Solutions.